At 2 a.m. on January 3, 2026, a foreign president slept in his capital, unaware his home was about to be stormed by American commandos. In a curtained room in Florida, the U.S. president watched a live military feed of the raid. He later described the capture of a head of state as being just like watching television. The target was Nicolas Maduro, and the location was the heart of Caracas, Venezuela. This kidnapping violated international law and marked the final stage of a months-long shadow war. In August 2025, a CIA Black Ops team entered Venezuela without diplomatic cover to prepare the ground. Guided by an insider within the Venezuelan government, the team tracked every detail of Maduro's life, from his travel routes and his diet, even the locations of his pets. By November, the pressure became overt. Trump held a phone call with Maduro, issuing a direct ultimatum to give up power. Maduro refused the deal. Exhausted, the White House quietly pivoted from threats to a full military mobilization. To prepare for the assault, the U.S. military built a full-scale replica of Maduro's residence in Kentucky. Delta Force commandos used the facility to rehearse the exact timing and mechanics of the breach. As the commandos trained, a massive array of hardware moved into position around Venezuela. Reaper drones, fighter jets, and naval special operations aircraft began patrolling just outside the country's borders. The strike was scheduled for Christmas Day to take advantage of the high number of Venezuelan soldiers on leave. However, severe weather conditions forced the team to remain on standby for over a week. For 8 days, a superpower's invasion force sat waiting for a clear atmospheric window to decapitate the Venezuelan government. The final order came at 10:46 p.m. on January 2nd. More than 150 military aircraft launched from 20 different bases across the region. The kinetic phase opened with a cyber attack on the local power grid. This photo shows the density of Caracas, a city that was suddenly engulfed in darkness. American airstrikes followed, destroying the radar and air defense systems around the capital. 40 people were killed in the bombardment. Under the cover of the blackout, helicopters flew just 100 feet above the ocean waves to evade detection. At 2:01 a.m., commandos fast-roped onto Maduro's roof and blew through the bedroom windows. Maduro woke up and tried to reach a steel-reinforced safe room, but the soldiers caught him before he could close the door. Within 5 minutes of entering the house, Maduro was in a helicopter. He was taken to a naval vessel, then to Cuba, and finally to New York in chains. In a single midnight operation, the U.S. military had surgically removed the sitting president of a sovereign nation. The White House officially justified the invasion as a law enforcement action. They claimed Maduro was an indicted drug trafficker whose arrest was necessary to stop overdose deaths in the United States. Venezuela's cocaine exports are minor compared to U.S. ally Guatemala, which exports 1,400 metric tons per year. Furthermore, America's leading cause of overdose deaths is fentanyl from Mexico. Venezuela has no known role in it. This operation coincided with the release of the Epstein files, where Trump's name appeared repeatedly. Many believe the raid was a media distraction to shift public conversation away from those emerging documents. The use of fabricated charges to justify an invasion has a direct historical parallel. Back in 2003, the U.S. used false claims of weapons of mass destruction to launch the Iraq War. When we look past the drug charges, we find a more traditional motive: the control of energy resources. This visualization shows the scale of the prize. Venezuela holds 303 billion barrels of proven crude oil reserves, the largest in the world, surpassing both Saudi Arabia and the United States. American oil companies operated there for decades, but the relationship soured in 2001. That year, the Venezuelan government passed laws to nationalize the industry, effectively ending American corporate control over those reserves. Trump's own statements confirm this focus. After the raid, he called Venezuela's control of its own oil the greatest theft in the history of America. It was an armed corporate takeover presented as a quest for justice. Domestically, the strike bypassed the U.S. Congress, which holds the sole power to declare war. Internationally, it ignored the UN Charter, which protects the sovereignty of all nations. The operation has been condemned by governments across South America and Europe, sparking fears that international rules no longer apply to the powerful. Operation Absolute Resolve signals a new era where a superpower can seize foreign leaders and resources at gunpoint. It is the return of colonialism, enforced by the world's largest military.